Yes.
Sandy.
Yes.
Schaefer. Stripe.
Here.
Burns.
Yes. Pledge of Allegiance, if you could all stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes or additions?
Chair. Couple changes.
One being the Lions Park
Oh,
Yeah. 8I.
signage.
okay, so 8I would be Lions Park changes. 8D is capital and operating budget. And
Which
then
one?
8D, the capital and the operating budget discussion.
Capital and operating.
And then I have two unfinished items as well. Update on the weed and feed program and implementation of park board priorities. B7, C, and D.
Do you want them together or separate?
Separate, please. Thank you.
Update to weed and feed. 7D was what?
Implementation of park board priorities.
Okay. Do we have any other changes to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 5, consent calendar. Notice to the public, all matters listed are considered routine by the board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless good cause is shown prior to the time the board votes on the motion to be adopted by roll call. Consent calendar.
I'd like to pull one item from the consent calendar, that's 5G, for more discussion.
Okay? We have any further discussion?
With that, I'll
besides
make a
5G?
motion to approve the consent calendar.
I will second the motion.
All right, we have motion and a second discussion.
I didn't see any documentation about the ejection of the VFW team.
That was what was emailed out. Can we get that added into the packet?
We can, but it was emailed to all the board members and,
Oh, it's just that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's the same one.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Miller.
Yes.
Sandy.
Yes.
Schaefer. Stripe.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes. All right, motion passes. 5G, approval of Brainerd Lakes Pride event at Gregory Park.
So I guess the one thing that I wanted to get a little more clarity on is the request to drive into the park, and it looked like they said they wanted to, Wonder Trek wanted to drive in and to the center of the park on concrete to set up and then clean up. Historically, the park board's policy has been to not allow vehicles driving into Gregory Park, and I wanted to bring that up to the board to get thoughts.
Okay, any discussion? Lisa?
This was now changed. I just got an email from Brainerd Lakes Pride. They're retracting their request to drive into the park.
Okay, with that, then I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to the public forum. This is the time allocated for citizens to bring matters not on the agenda to the attention of the board. Time limits may be imposed. I will open the public forum at 4:04 p.m. Yes. If you can state your name, please, for us.
My name is Scott Chiletto. I'm here to talk in rebuttal, I guess, to last month's meeting about the softball conversation that was had in front of you guys. My main points today are just to talk about the health of the league, not to go us versus them. There's been a lot of talk over the last year with that team versus kind of the rest of the league, and I don't want to get into a he said, she said type of a thing, but I've been managing and playing in both the Tuesday and Wednesday league for the last 23 years, and the league is in a very healthy place right now. When I first started, it was a lot of bad sportsmanship, a lot of taunting, a lot of stuff like that. And as the league has grown, as we've gone through different directors and different rule changes, things have gotten much, much better. Some of the people that weren't able to make it tonight that have been playing as long as I have, and maybe even JD, have seen those changes. I've played in both Tuesday and Wednesday, managed on both. And through Kayla, Bonnie, and Katie, the rules that are in place right now are there for a reason, and the reason why that they've been that way for, I would say, probably 10 years is because they work. A long time ago, there was no rules about Wednesday, Tuesday players playing in each league. Then we tried for a while to limit the amount of just Wednesday players without cards. It made it hard for people to fill out rosters. Then we adopted the current rule right now, which is limiting the amount of players that have a card or a rating given to you by the state. A carded player is basically somebody that would go to multiple tournaments per year. It's somebody that lives, breathes, and dies softball. Wednesday is just a night of the week. It doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. A lot of these guys play both leagues. They don't have cards. They just are available to play in both. There's been a lot of talk about Wednesday is the competitive league. I hate hearing that because Tuesday is competitive as well. There might not be as many skilled players as the top tier Wednesday players, but there are lots and lots of Wednesday players that play on Tuesdays that help fill out rosters. There is a website, USA Softball, where you can go and look these up. And in a very short time, it's a public website that anybody can look at. In a short time, I found 20 players that have cards in Brainerd that are just C and above, which are the players that are limited to our Tuesday league. And out of those 20, only 4 of them are registered on Tuesdays and only 3 of them actually play. And it's been that way for quite a few years. So the way that the rule is written right now, I believe, and a lot of these guys that showed up with me, the rule is working. A lot of those top tier players aren't playing on Tuesdays anymore when they used to. Just as far as competitiveness, I kind of printed something up here for you guys. That is just an overview of the standings right now on Tuesday. And outside of one team, it's pretty much a logjam. It's something that you would see in any adult sport. And if you go to the next page there, what I did is I broke down all 100 games that have been played this year in this year's season. As you can see how I broke it down there, we have 39 games that have been won by 4 or less runs. If you add in 5 to 10, which is still not a 10-run rule game, 60 out of the 100 games have not been a 10-run rule, which means they got to play their full 7 innings or they got to play their full 1-hour allotment of time. There has been 29 games that were somewhere between 10 and 15 runs, which could have been a 10-run rule. There's only been 9 games that were won by 15 or 20 runs that would be considered a blowout. Blowouts happen. The Yankees lose by 18 every once in a while. It's an adult competitive league. We're here to compete. So just kind of wanted to show that out. The last thing on there, there's been 2 forfeits this year. Both forfeits were given against the same team by 2 different umps for unprofessional behavior on the field. You guys can figure out which team that was. The competitiveness of our league is known around the state. We have men's, women's, co-ed, over 35 teams that come back with state championships every single year. Kayla plays on our Tuesday team. There are 5 girls that play on men's teams right now with men's equipment by men's rules that compete. Pitchers, outfielders. People take pride in how good the Brainerd League is. It should be a source of pride and enjoyment that you can compete in this league. So, is there any other questions for me on that? I don't know if any of the other guys, I kind of just told all these guys that I would speak first and they could fill in the blanks, but the league's in a really good place. We all have a really great time. Everybody respects the umps. I know the gentleman that was here before was talking about one night that there was their team was getting teased because they lost a bad game. I don't agree with that either. That shouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, there was a loophole when Haley was hired. It is not Haley's fault, but that team should have been moved up the year before. They never should have been playing last year. They should have been moved up to Wednesday. They were being unprofessional and not being good sports, and unfortunately that other team overheard them. The team that's been doing all the complaining is, as you can see on there, right in the middle of the pack. So,
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I appreciate the work you put in and the time and research for that.
okay,
That's very helpful.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anyone else for the public forum? Seeing none, I will close the public forum at 4:11 PM. Moving on to unfinished business, 7A, YMCA Fall Slow Pitch Softball Program.
Thank you, Mr. President. Here the community action had to cancel the girls softball, and the YMCA is picking that up. And as you can see, they are getting a little bit more organized as we start approaching those dates. And we have worked with them and given them dates at Buffalo Hills, and the registration is opening. Actually, it's already opened. And so they are organized, they're ready to go. My only question that we haven't discussed is a possible amendment to their contract regarding financial contributions. I'm not sure if they will do this just because they want to pick it up, or if they will be requesting that. That's something that's on my to-do list, and I can bring that to the board next month. Or I can even probably email it and get that organized that way. Thoughts and questions for me?
Any questions for staff? Jonathan?
Do we know, again, breakdown-wise, how much we were giving community education for this program?
I did not break it down, but I did send out that email regarding the percentages of Baxter play and Brainerd play, and it was not appropriate. Later in the agenda, I want to address that, but right now, just to balance workload, it's September that I'd like for staff to really dive into that and provide a strong recommendation moving forward, or not necessarily a strong recommendation, but an accurate what has transpired as far as moving forward. Should we be more based off activities that they provide, and they will be compensated for those activities, not just a lump sum, and it's per activity.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that. And of course, we can put the responsibility on the requester of the money to give us that breakdown as well. So totally comfortable with that. We don't have to kind of pull it out anywhere. Like, they know how much it costs to operate these programs, and of course, costs increase annually, but they can come back with those requests
Right.
throughout those programs. So thank you.
Any other questions for staff? The only thing I have is make sure you tell the YMCA thank you for picking up this program for girls softball. Okay, moving on, 7B, provide city council advisory approval of Loon Fest contract for the Mills Field. And then for our board members, you also see that the special event application was on your seat up here.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And the Loon Fest organizers are here, and I'll be asking them to come up to the podium and speak a little bit on this. But first, I'd just like to, we sort of moved away from the contract because we were going to be entering into a 5-year contract, because we would like them to have a staple here and be grounded here in the Brainerd area. So we really want to work with them, and so much so that we've been looking at the Mills Field. We met out there with the police chief, the fire marshal, and we also met with them today, just getting more organized and prepared for, this event taking place. But when we met out there, we looked at the field. Do we have to install a new fence? Since that time, we went out there and we looked at it. We can get that stage in there without asking them to put forth a $5,000 request and put in a fence that we don't necessarily need. We can, Troy, as you know, he's very handy with his gates and stuff, and we can get in there and do that. And so much so that we want this event there. Sean with our streets, he has a loader. So instead of having a pickup or a dually come in there and drop off that stage, we can bring in one of our equipments where we have wide tracks and we spread out that load and we don't have any divots and ruts in that field, that we are willing to do that for this event and making sure that we don't damage our valuable asset there at Mills Field. And so just regarding that initial contract, I just want to explain why we are going down that road to get a contract is because these gentlemen are putting forth a lot of organization and they want to protect their time and investment into this event. And I recognize that, but for right now, I think just the special event application, get our feet wet with 1 year, and then we can come back to the board and request, maybe we want to just go year by year, or maybe we do want to do a 5-year contract. Let's get our feet wet with 1 year, and then we can go from there. There are some logistics regarding police and fire, having crowd control managers and security on site. We are working through those logistics right now with both fire chief and the police chief, and we are going to be reviewing our sound ordinance, our crowd control, our crowd ordinance. Anything over 10 o'clock, as you are well aware, that if there's a crowd, that's an ordinance, and we need to have city council review that and suspend that for a couple days for this event. But our police chief just wants to make sure things are in line, very well organized for the public safety of everyone involved. Not only the spectators, but just the general public. The organizers, I'm just going to just commend them in the sense of looking forth for the neighbors. I mean, this concert is going to be going forth after 10 o'clock, 11, I just indicating midnight. With their proposal, they're saying, no, Mike, we're going to be done at 11:45, speakers are off. I'm just indicating midnight on the application. But I'm concerned about the neighbors, so are they. They are going to be saying, hey, Mike, we're going to walk that neighborhood in the back there by Rice Lake. They're going to walk that neighborhood, give those individuals some tickets. They may not attend, but their grandchildren may attend. And now, their grandkids are happy and pleased that, their grandfather gave them some tickets for the concert. So they're just looking out for the best interests of Brainerd also. So that's really nice. It's comforting for me to know that they're looking out for the best interest with that. They've got a strong security force and in that. So other than that, we are just, again, moving from a contract to a special event application because we're just looking at 1 year to get our feet wet, and then we'll reevaluate what do we want to modify. Do we want to move forward with a gate or not? The other thing I want to ask, and then Devin, Ron, I'll let you guys go to the podium, is we really wanted to make sure that this event is successful. The first year is always very taxing, just even with like your business. Your first 5 years with any business, you barely make a profit. So we are, I'm asking the board, the park board here, if we could give them Lum Park as an incentive to gain tickets. This is in mid-September. I'm not sure, I haven't asked Lisa to look at the past Lum Park attendance. If it was, I don't think it was packed, but that's something that she can do. And I would be in favor of waiving the fees. And we already put that on administrative hold for these individuals, and they then could sell tickets with a package deal, campsites with a ticket. And they are also, again, looking out for the best interests of Brainerd. They've already hired a taxi cab service to help transport individuals back and forth. And there's a small cost with that, but again, if for me, I don't have to worry about parking. I'm gonna just hire, jump on that bandwagon and have my taxi bring me back to my camper, and I can just walk in and go to bed. So if the board can also have, after we hear from the Loon Fest, if you would approve staff waiving those fees for Lum Park Campground for this year. Next year we can reevaluate it. Maybe we want to charge them half rate or whatever. I don't know. That's something that the board can discuss. But that's something, just as when you're starting an event like this, There's a lot of expenses, there's a lot of organization that goes into it, and the success really rests on them. And the dollars and cents, we're not gonna get into that, but they have to look at that. So I wanna look out for their best interest also. And so I will be asking the board if we can move forward with waiving the Lum Park campground fees for this event solely just for this year. With that, Kevin, Ron, whoever's comfortable at the mic.
Hello, board.
Hello.
Do you have questions for me?
How many people are you expecting? I know you've done some other concerts in the past. What are you expecting
So
for this?
in previous concerts, we did it at the Armory located here in Brainerd. We sold out both shows, but due to space, we capped about 500, including staff. This year, we were just looking to grow. In a perfect world, we see anywhere from 800 to 1,000 each day, which would be nice.
Okay.
Also, one more thing I did want to add. So we do partner with charity. Every time we sell a cocktail or a drink, a water, a pop, we donate $1 to the Vigilant Guardians that are also located in town here, which is a veterans group. But going forward, we will always be partnered with a charity, whatever we do in any of the parks. That's something that we're very firm on, and we won't do it if we're not with a charity. So it's a win-win for both the community and for us.
My thought is, and you guys probably know, I've been involved with a lot of concerts in the past. You said that you would have 7 to 10 bathrooms with 1,000 spectators, and you're gonna have drinking involved. I would encourage you to probably have more restrooms than that. I would
Absolutely.
just look at that as an increase.
Yeah, that was just based off of the required numbers.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's definitely amendable.
Yeah, just as my experience, I know you hit the requirements, but I would just, for ease of
Absolutely.
guest.
When you got 1,000 people waiting to use the restroom,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
Any other questions for Devin or Ron? Yes.
I think just with insurance, so typically, right, it's liability insurance for like during the event, but it seems like you'd leave stuff there overnight because there's 2 days.
From what I understand, our insurance is encompassing for the 2 days.
So like if somebody
I
were
can
to-
get like confirmation for you on that, but I'm sure it's for the 2 days.
it is for
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, I just didn't want like a freak hailstorm
No,
to come in the middle of the
absolutely,
night
absolutely.
and like, oh, the city broke. Right. That's
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that situation. So
Any other questions?
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Mike?
I just want to reiterate, Lisa is working with their insurance company, and no offense, guys, we have to make sure that every T is crossed, every I is dotted, and we are going to be contacting them, making sure that everything is confirmed, legitimate. We just have to protect, and so Lisa is on top of that. And also with their liquor license, that's upstairs with finance here. I know Connie and Pam are strong with their procedures before it moves forward. And like I said, they have to have a nonprofit involved with that liquor license, and they're already doing that. Yes.
Yeah. Andrew?
there's one other thing that comes to mind. So we had Habitat reach out a couple years ago, and they wanted some campsites donated. We chose not to. So I get the need here, right? We want to help this event get off the ground. But how is this different from that situation for us policy-wise?
What was the rationale for denying, or what was their request and what was the rationale for not doing it?
I believe we didn't have a policy for nonprofits seeking like a donated service or campground, right? That's our only real item. It's not service, I guess.
Obviously, I wasn't here 2 years ago, but I would question having a policy for anything that could or could not potentially happen. I don't want to be policied out, especially with the time of year on this one. I personally don't have a problem with it. I feel it's an event that's going to be an economic boost to the city, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I think, just speaking on specifically the nonprofit thing, we had just kind of gone through a wave, 'cause not speaking on, I have to abstain from any discussion on this, just to be clear, but the nonprofit specifically, I think that there was a lot of conversation like that year specifically, or a lot of like pickleball tournaments for like Syria Music Festival, the Habitat for. There were so many folks that came to us, and I think it was just kind of a general like, hey, we don't really have a policy on this, but we've already denied a bunch of nonprofits the ability to use their facilities for free. So we just kind of kept that in lockstep that particular year. So I don't think we ever refined it or changed any of that, providing those free services. But I mean, again, that was that year where that gal wanted, 3 pickleball courts for 2 hours. And we were like, yeah, she's like, I'm going to make maybe $300 on this and nonprofit. And we denied that. So we kind of just stayed with that theme throughout any of those requests, even via nonprofit. So just again, context on the denial of nonprofit.
Do we have any other discussion?
I think feel one way or the other. I just want us to be aware of kind of our past decisions, so we're a little predictable for the public.
Mr. President, if I could also, we should probably contact our attorney, making sure that we could waive fees, and there may be a procedure that I'm not aware of. So that's something that we should probably reach out to. And again, this will be going forth to the city council, and we want to just touch it here, and then it will be going forth on August 4th to city council, and by that time, I'll have a better understanding. So thank you, Connie, for bringing that up.
I suppose contextually, I don't know if the event insurance does cover campground goers then?
That would be on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just,
And just to reiterate, during our meeting today, the Ron and Kevin, or Devin, they indicated that their security would do a sweep over there. Again, just looking out for the best interest of everyone. So that was really just a good, touch on the event.
So I think today, based on the city attorney comments and then this going to city council, we would be looking at a conditional approval from our board pending those other items, conditional approval or denial, whichever we would have for a motion. So I would entertain a motion if someone would like to make one.
I'll make a motion to provide contingent approval on the Loon Fest event, and that contingency is related to reviewing the waiver of fees at the campground and ensuring that the insurance requirements that the city has set forth are met and that we're call it rock solid as far as insurance is concerned.
Second.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
I think we just need to call the roll when we vote. That's all.
Roll.
All right, we will do a roll call vote on this, please.
Miller.
Abstain.
What?
I'm abstaining.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Sandy.
Yes.
Schaefer. Shipe.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes. All right, we have a motion that has been approved by roll call vote. Moving on to 7C, update to the weed and feed program.
Yeah, so at the May meeting, Mike, we had talked about tracking down that contract for the weed and feed provider. I didn't see anything in the June packet. I wasn't able to make it, but I was curious what our service is like, or if we're able to, if it's still going on, or kind of what its status is.
Yes, I apologize. I have not researched that. And I know Troy has working on a fertilizer program, and I would assume that it's that, but I will research more and get on that. I apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Was that on the last agenda?
It was in the May meeting.
Was it?
The workshop, right?
No, it was at a board meeting.
I think you're on Zoom, Mike?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was on vacation. So very specifically, are we still doing it? Is it still up and operational?
And what are we covering?
And what are we covering? Was there a dollar amount that we had in that?
There was an annual budget that was set forth in our capital plan quite a few years in a row that was being used. Yeah, it was 25,000, I believe.
And I think it came up because of the seeding of Buffalo Hills, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, okay, well, can we pilfer some of the money out of there? And I guess we just don't really know how we spend it, so, it was a little bit more clarity on that one.
Right.
Yeah, it's row 19 in the capital spreadsheet you sent out. You have 25,000 for weed and feed.
Right. I'm just not sure if we are using that same vendor or not. I know just in speaking, we met with Troy and that we still want to fertilize. I look at that as just fertilizing. I think specifically you're indicating that very specific vendor.
No, there was a weed and feed program that was outside of fertilizer that previous park boards selected multiple green space parks to start actively managing turf
okay.
grasses. And there was, I think, maps made at the time with square footages, and then we reached out to multiple vendors to get quotes to do that. And then based on those numbers, we were going to trim it back to less priority areas and figure out what we can get done for that $25,000 mark. And it's,
Okay.
I think usually like 4 or 5 applications
Right.
a year.
Okay. Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay. So hopefully we have an update for that at our August meeting.
Yes.
All right, moving on, 7D, park board priorities.
Yeah, so again, in the May meeting, we had talked about kind of the priority list from that May workshop, and getting some details on the implementation steps. Staff
Getting
are taking-
details on the what?
Implementation of, right, our top priority was grass. So what steps are we taking to improve grass in the parks or
Oh.
improve
Okay.
some of the other priorities?
Yeah, I was this at a previous meeting that we discussed that we would do this?
I believe that was part of our workshop. We wanted the park board priorities and something similar to how the council's doing it, but not exactly.
Right.
Just like a running list of, hey, this is where we're at on this and this and this on the priority list.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wish I would have been briefed. I guess I was not ready for this. So I apologize again. I'll have to research that and just get more, because we are, as you can see, our parks, we are, Troy and his crew are dialed in. And what just at a high level, we are focusing at, for the one event at Gregory with the car show, we really dialed in Gregory Park. We were all hands on deck, not only just our parks guys, but our street guys were there. And then we moved over to Buffalo, and we moved over to JC. So we are, moving that, because there's no way that we can handle all parks at that level. We just don't have the staff, resources, or equipment to handle all parks. So we were just spot doing each one as events come up. But that's something that we can definitely dive into to get a more detailed plan on each one of those priorities and in our action steps with each one of those. That will be, that's a lift for us to really dial in with that. I just want to be transparent in that request, but we will work on that. And we will get something for the next park board, and that will be a lift for us to do that. It won't be to the level that I will want it to be at, but it will be a start, and that will be something that we can just be ongoing, if you will. And I think we can just constantly be ticking away at that to get that level. So yes, we'll get started on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I think that would probably solve it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on, new business, 8A, approval to seek grant to extend the height of fence line at Memorial softball fields.
You want this? Yeah, so staff has been discussing the safety at our softball fields, and with individuals in between the fields 1 and 2, with an individual with an overthrow from first base or third base, and we did have an incident where a lady got hit in the back from an overthrow. And we would like to increase that fence line. So if there are, not if, I guess when there are, there's no softball people here, so I guess that's safe. When there is an overthrow, that fence would catch it and wouldn't go in that area. And then the other part is now, if you take an overview of Mills, or Memorial Park, Field 1, is it, close to the pickleball? So Field 1, you get a home run, and on that one side, that's going to go into the pickleball area. So we would want to extend that fence there. The fences are pretty expensive, but we want to seek a grant to move forward. Kayla's been doing some research, but before we get too far along, we want to just make sure that we're okay doing that. It would be an asset. Fences typically are. They're an asset. And like an outfield fence would probably be in the 50 to 100,000. I'm not sure what those are right now, but they're expensive. And it's not necessarily the fence, it's the post, because it's sort of even though it's a mesh net, it's still a safe. As you know, Paul, with your engineering, that's still a sail, and that footing for those posts would have to be pretty strong. So that's what we're seeking. Any questions for staff on that?
Mr. Miller?
So the fences aren't already competitive regulation height, right? Like they're actually short?
Go ahead.
Are you asking for like the home run?
Well, just in
Fence
general,
in
right?
the
Like
outfield?
some of those sanctioned events require a higher fence, right? So,
Yeah.
so on a competitive and program side, not just safety, this is kind of a big deal, I think. I mean, if we're going to organize bigger events and things like that, we want to have that. So I think it's a kind of a double-sided win if we can pull this off. So
With 3 fields, would we be able to host a tournament, or do we need like a whole complex? This is my only. Right,
We
like I
would
see
be
the
able to
baseball
host a
tournament.
tournament.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I see baseball.
And this would
taking
be
over,
for, mainly for field 1 and 2. I don't think anything needs to be done on field 3.
They hit
It's more
house
for the safety of the players or the
They hit houses,
spectators.
I'm going to be impressed, and I'll welcome them to come to the park board meeting.
I'll make a motion, or unless you had something.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve staff of seeking a grant to extend the height of the fence lines at fields 1 and 2 at the Memorial Park softball field.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on, 8B, discussion of softball league rules and ejections. Kayla?
So I think Scott covered how the rosters work pretty well. So if you have any questions, I can answer for that. Otherwise, I'll just go over explaining ejections.
I just want to reiterate, we're using a very standard set of rules, right? Okay,
Yes,
just for
it's
anybody in the
USA.
public or any questions like that, I mean, these are just used everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you.
Andrew, did you have something to add? Or did?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty laid out. Mike?
I'd just like to indicate that regarding the ejections, if the event or the situation is severe, they would be suspended for 10 days. If it's just a normal suspension, they're ejected for that game. They're welcome back the next day, but if it is severe enough, it is 10 days. They have to appear before the park board, indicate their reasoning and why they would like to come back, and then the park board would vote. If it is a severe ejection, with that case, it's based on the umpire. The games are really the umpire's games. When the game starts, the umpire it's their game. They have to call that, and we follow their judgment call. Our umps are solid, and we are appreciative of what they do for us. So I just want to reiterate, that is one of the nuances that we found with this recent ejection. We just researched a little bit further. If it was going to be a tick up regarding the severity of it, this is what would have happened if we would have followed our procedures. So I just want to bring that to the board's attention.
Paul?
I guess if we're asking that this person that is ejected come to a park board meeting, I would like to at least have the umpire that performed the ejection come to. I look at this like a dangerous dog hearing where the animal control officer is in attendance and the perpetrator, call it, is also here so we can hear both sides of the story to make an informed decision. So that would be the only request that I had.
I think that's a good request. Andrew?
So just so I'm understanding this, so if they're ejected with the major ejection, they're out for 10 days, but then they can start playing again until the next park board meeting? Or would they have to sit out?
They have to sit out
Until-
till the next park board meeting.
They're out
So
a minimum
whatever
of 10
that
days.
falls.
Oh, okay, minimum. I was just like, if somebody got ejected tonight,
They better hope it happens
like,
within 10 days of a park board meeting.
yeah, I just don't want to get to a point where we have to like hold a special park board meeting because somebody got ejected and there's a tournament. I would feel bad for that person and then also for trying to get all of this together, so.
The one thing that we are really trying to do when you enforce rules, you actually bring the playability, the organization of it, and the whole feel of the softball event is at a higher rate right now. It's at a higher level because Kayla has been on top of those rules and applying those rules. And so thank you for backing staff when we indicate that. But now that you have firsthand experience and witness that, the level of the play has increased and just the atmosphere has increased also. So when we enforce what we have indicated, you actually get a better quality program. So I just, again, thank you for following and endorsing us. Thank you.
Kayla, have you had any further discussion with that team about a new manager? Do you know if anything has transpired with that?
Yes, they have a new manager now.
Perfect. Okay. Any other discussion on softball rules and ejections? All right, moving on. 8C, consider discussions of community agreements in September and the fee schedule in October.
Thank you, Mr. President. And just for work balance and working on different things, obviously as thank you, Andrew, for bringing up those things that I've missed. And I just want to get a schedule out in front of us so that we can start working on some of these things and having a solid document before you in the months ahead. So the community agreements that we have 3 of them. We have the YMCA, the BBBA, and the community ed, and we will put forth some good recommendations that the board can consider, and then we can move forth for that in September. And then October, we would like to look at the fee schedule, and like one item is that if we had a 5K event and they wanted to close X number of streets or whatever, if we just charged, X number of dollars for every event we had in 25, what would our total amount be? When we start having staff dedicated to bringing a street barricade, a picnic table, a trash can, whatever it is, we are taking away our staff to maintain that baseball field, to maintain Gregory Park. We are taking staff away for this very specific event, and the general tax dollars should not be charged for that. This is a very specific, it's a private event, they're paying for it. Could be open to the public, but still, that event should be paying for that staff person to be bringing that picnic table. Those are the type of things that we're gonna be bringing forth. Again, it's not gonna be a big amount, it's just gonna be something, a tick above. And so those are the type of things that I really want to dive into to put forth a solid document. We're going to be doing some benchmarking. Not only, we're just going to be looking at, Brainerd Lakes area. What other agencies, what are they charging for special events? What are they charging for ball field rentals and so forth? And that is what I really want to dive into. But again, work balance. I need to balance my workload, and projecting out, we should be able to really provide a good solid document for the park board to look at that will have some analysis behind it, that it just won't have numbers out of the air. So that's what I would like to recommend, and the park board could, or take any feedback from here.
Jonathan?
I think the only question I have is I don't always remember when the YMCA and community education present in the fall. So I if it's November or whatever, obviously this timetable works a little bit better if, if we're doing it at the October meeting and then they come and present in November. And then kind of piggybacking on that and saying, okay, well, you've determined a lot of these things and put a lot of information together for us. Maybe making the YMCA and other, community education and the BBBA aware of, like, hey, these are kind of some of our findings, so that when they come and make their request contractually, that they're not unprepared as well.
Right.
I mean, they can certainly watch our meetings and see what we see, but just to make sure that, we're sharing the findings before they make those
Right.
those financial asks from us would be really appreciated, so.
And the meetings that I've had, even moving forward, and even with, I'll indicate BBBA, majority of the contractual agreements that we have, all the wins are on one side of the table. When you start valuing, and when you value your asset so much that you charge for it, people appreciate it much higher. And people then value it at that same level. And that is what I would like to bring. Just like here, we are valuing our rules and we're following our rules. When we value and follow our rules, people appreciate it more. And that also is true to fee structures and so forth. We can all get a steak at multiple restaurants. I'm probably going to choose a certain restaurant versus another restaurant. And it's just because of value. I'm willing to pay for that because I value that. And when people we have amazing amenities here. Great amenities. And we need to be charging for those, and just in my professional opinion. And I think people will follow suit. The ones that I spoke to BBA, Corey, and he's like, absolutely, Mike, you let me know. On the contract, we can't charge him. He's actually willing to, hey, I'll buy some chalk for you. And just because he knows the value that he's getting. He is getting a certain value, and he realizes that. And he's a business individual, and people will now value what they respect, but we have to value it also.
Any other questions for staff? I do appreciate you planning out ahead, and I think that falls into our priorities of the year we plan. I appreciate that, and I think that's good to work ahead and look ahead. Andrew?
One thing that might be nice to see in this discussion is the different activities each organization offers, and then like the rough timeline they happen, just so we're not kind of double dipping on anything, or we can make sure that we're not.
Right.
Because I know, like, they both offer soccer, but they're different times of the year, just so we're clear, right? We have a 7-year-old who loves to play soccer. What are their opportunities and when?
Right.
We can make sure we're not saying, well, we have 2 programs, but they're at the same time.
So very specifically regarding like the YMCA and community ed, are you talking about other outside agencies besides these 3?
Just, I think, mostly community ed and YMCA.
Okay, great.
Because I think baseball.
Making sure that we don't conflict with one another, that they're not competing against, right. Got it.
Exactly, yeah.
I believe it's already spelled out which one each is going to provide, but if we could just get the timing of it
Exactly.
added in there. Rough timing even.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to, just like April to
Yeah.
June or whatever, yeah.
I'll make a motion to direct staff to prepare 2026 agreements for the September Park Board meeting, and following that, the prepared fee schedule for the October Park Board meeting.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 8D, approval 2026 capital budget and operating budget. Connie's favorite time.
Connie, up front, she has the money tree in her office.
It's gone.
It's been plucked. Can you, Andrew, I guess, so we met, and maybe we discussed the easier ones. So the capital, with the equipment, with the snow plow and the lift, those were the 2 documents that I emailed out. And so is it okay that we talk about those 2? Are that very specific?
Yeah, because those are the changes, right, to what we kind of had laid out as far as the future, right? Like, those are the major
Right,
differences.
those are
Like,
the
things
only-
that we didn't talk in the workshop about.
Right, exactly.
Correct, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
think we're,
Just to expand a little bit, right now, we have a contract, well, last winter, we had a contract with a very specific company to do the snow plowing downtown, with the downtown area. And at 6 inches we would call them out. Anything under 6 inches or 4 inches and lower, we'd just take care of that. This was at a city council workshop that, and Nick and I have already talked about this, and that our park staff, we have the equipment, and we're well trained in our equipment, and we could easily take that request on. I know that we could do it less expensive than that contractor could do, and it would actually be a savings to the businesses downtown. And I think they would appreciate that gesture, and I think we can easily handle that activity. We just need to get one piece of equipment, and that's this plow. We are sharing it with streets because they're going to be using it too. So that's why Connie did it 50-50. And then the other one was a lift. I won't get into it was a critical thing, if we can remember my critical verbiage. That is, we just needed this piece of equipment to be, following OSHA and all of our regulatory standards. We need to have this piece of equipment to do our stuff that we do. We do have the means with BPU to ask them to bring their truck. Their truck is, a $500,000 piece of equipment to do some, hang a banner downtown isn't the best use of that equipment. So we're requesting to get this piece of equipment. Streets, again, are going to be sharing it, and it will be used for tree trimming and hanging banners in a safe, appropriate, professional manner.
Question on the downtown snow removal. Right now, we're currently assessing the downtown property owners to pay for that snow removal. Would that offset the equipment that we're purchasing then, or would that be a council budget item? I don't know if that'd be you or Connie.
I spoke to Jesse on this, and Connie can chime in also, but I spoke to Jesse, and I think we can assess that. We'd have to research that. I'm not versed in that agreement, but even if we did, I was like, that's a big, assessment. We would only assess 50% of that, and that would, Jesse, with some quick numbers, it'd be less than $200 per company. I think with the savings that they're going to see, they could easily do that. But again, I don't want to speak to that fully. But Connie, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just think that this whole downtown snow removal needs to go through council yet. It hasn't even been discussed at council level. We don't even know if council is willing to do this at this point. We have some union contract language also that we need to work through. So I think it's very preliminary yet. So I think we're kind of rolling down the cart, but we need to hold back the reins a little bit and make sure that this is all in the good.
Yeah, the downtown is a special services district that the city has specifically outlined, and the reason that those costs were assessed for is because that snow removal would happen very early in the morning. And that's kind of the rationale. It's a special benefit that these businesses receive, having all the snow removed from downtown prior to opening their shop. And so with that change, that's something that the council is certainly going to have to look at, because is it providing a special benefit anymore if it's all happening at the same time as other snow removal activities? There might not be that benefit there anymore.
Andrew?
Just not to be a nerd, but the charter is pretty clear that downtown is not a park or a boulevard, so I'd be really hesitant for us to really do anything with this unless council says they want us to tackle this. So I would like to see that removed, even if it goes in streets, that's great, but just in terms of us trying to stick our nose in the downtown service, I don't have any interest.
What kind of plow is it, and could it be used for park-related purposes that aren't related to downtown, I guess is my question.
Yes, it's for our loader, and it's just a push. It's 12 feet wide with some wings on it, and any parking lot, that's what it's for. And one thing that we're going to be doing is having our small blower on the sidewalk, blowing it onto the street, and then this thing will come right behind it, and the parks guys are just going to put it in the middle, and then streets are going to come up with their big blower with their dump truck and then pick it up.
So I think
So,
there's
that's your-
justification there for the cost share is what I'm saying, because it's not just solely related to downtown. There's a lot of this equipment sharing that goes on down there. And given it's all one department now, I think it makes sense, you know, that this will get used in all the other parks, related to the same. So if it's just an accounting thing internally, it all comes out of the same money, but.
Yes, it will be used by both work units.
Were we short on snowplows this past winter?
To take on the downtown at the same time of doing our streets, yes. We could not, well, could we do it? Yes. With our current equipment, will it take a little bit longer? Yes. And to be more efficient, we need to get out of there before downtown people start coming. And to be more efficient with that, we need this nicer piece of equipment to get it done. Right now, we use the grader. The grader is just not very mobile to get into a parking lot. It's but we use it. We can get it done. It's going to take us a little bit longer. This piece of equipment will be much more efficient, and especially with time to get in and out before the rush hour.
Realistically, if we approve it in the budget now and it goes there and council says we're gonna go a different direction with that, this could be pulled out afterwards because our budget is likely
Exactly.
going to be sent back to us anyways. Because we could always pull it out, or just, if it is approved, we don't have to spend the money if it doesn't go anywhere.
Connie?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I think
The
it's
council
better to
approves
have
our
it in there.
budget anyways, so it's not like
I'd say
we're.
rather have it in there and have them pull it out than to try to add it later.
Yes. And then Connie, we don't have final numbers on insurance and such.
Correct.
We have numbers on there, are those guesstimates or were those last year's?
Those were last year's amounts.
Okay,
And same thing with professional services. I updated the cleaning services, but we still need to work on the agreements with the Y and the community ed.
okay.
I mean, these are all kind of preliminary. Mike hasn't met with myself or the city administrator yet. Usually we look over that too, so these numbers are subject to change even before it goes to the council.
Andrew?
One other thing with the capital, I know, it's budget season, it's great. With the capital spreadsheet, I think the facility projects are different than what we updated in the workshop. I just want to see those match some of the dates we moved around.
Okay. Just the dates?
I think we got rid of some of those projects as well.
I don't have that before me, in front of me.
And when this did go to council on Monday night, we said that the park board was meeting and so that they were subject to change. But this is, the facility projects were what were in the budget for 2026 last year. I made no changes to those because I didn't have them from Mike.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think just we changed stuff at the workshop last Monday. And so we'd want to.
Can you email me, Andrew, what you're speaking of, so I have that?
Yeah, I can. Just want me to update it and send it?
Sure, okay.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Because we'll just take the 30-year spreadsheet and put those projects and dates
Oh, okay,
and amounts in.
okay.
Because we just pushed some of that out. And we can probably,
And that's just very specifically the capital, right?
yeah, capital facilities.
Okay, right. Oh, facilities, okay.
Money we already.
What were those, if you have it up?
Yes.
Playground, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we moved,
you emailed it out, right?
yes. We moved the memorial playground to 26. The parking lot, I think we moved back a year to 28.
Okay. So I was working off a different document that you emailed, so Connie so Andrew, when you send that, that will be the document that I send to you for council?
Okay.
Is that correct?
For when the park board makes their presentation to the council in August, is that what you're saying?
Okay, right, I guess, yes.
Yeah, because we just changed, I mean, for the most part, this is correct. We just moved some of these forward because 2026 had no improvements in whatsoever. So we just moved some of the, like the playground's a great example, and then the stone arch, I think was it.
Yeah, those
right?
are the only thing that went to
Yeah.
26.
So,
Memorial Park Playground and the Stone Arch.
and then we moved the parking lot back because
Right.
of the skate park. So, yeah.
Did you guys talk about the Buffalo Hills Playground, and did we keep that in our 2026 ask, if that is,
That money's already been allocated.
it's already been allocated, so we're just holding that over to next year? Okay.
Right. So then, just to understand the process, once this is approved, JD, you'll present all three of these, Connie, to city council? The whole, all three budgets. So the capital, facility improvements, and operating.
And I think we were gonna find out from Gabe and Mike if they wanted it presented in August or September.
I would say they would want it in August, just because they have to present to the park. Per the city charter, by September 1st, the chair and the PNF committee have to present a budget to the city council. So usually we try to do it in August.
Okay. Yeah.
The second meeting in August?
We don't usually have a set time, but I think that would probably be the best.
Okay.
Earlier is
That's why we wanted to do it now.
Better.
Yeah.
always better. Just a couple other things, Mike.
Yep.
Troy was gonna look at the roofing options for the stone arch and lum, and the cost of cedar shakes versus asphalt.
Right. And
We just wanted to make sure that 6 was in the ballpark, or that it was maybe more, since we estimated a couple years ago.
and that was just for the arch,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? At Lum Park, right?
Yes.
I will have to email the board with that number.
And then you were gonna double check our softball lights estimate. I know Jesse had gotten us one
Right.
back when this all started, 3 years ago probably,
It all began, yeah.
and it was 400.
400 is what it is in here right now, but I would imagine that will be light.
I mean, we could probably dredge up if we wanted context. I mean, we did have that Musco, or wait, was it Rusco? I don't remember who it was. Did do
Musco.
Musco did it, right, like a full estimate for that replacement, so. We'll know what it was before, but just to have an idea, maybe we can even just get a hold of those previous people and be like, hey,
You can get
What-
that
yeah,
through
what kind of-
Sourcewell contract.
yeah, like what, what percentage increases have we seen, things like
I
that, just so
can-
we don't have to go crazy with it, but just have a general idea of how much
Just looking
that's
at the
increased.
calendar, yeah, we'll have to reach out to them and get that. The arch will be pretty easy. The Musco, that will be a lift to get them here within the next week or so. Because then,
So,
actually, if it's on, not till the second, the week of the 18th. So we,
The lights aren't even on the 5-year capital plan, are they?
The 30, they're on the 30-year.
Yeah.
I think they're set for 2031.
snuck them in there.
Right.
I think our only concern with the lights, Mike, was you thought it might be like double. We wanted to make sure we're in the right softball field still.
Right.
And we're requesting the right amount of money
Yeah.
annually to fit that, so that the bill in 5 years' time is not significantly higher than we anticipated. I mean, it probably is gonna be higher than we anticipated.
Right.
It always is, but just to try to be closer than where we were 4 years ago, having those estimates, or 3 years ago, excuse me, but, having a more in-line estimate as we move along, just so that we're requesting the right amount of money. We don't make a massive ask.
Right,
Again.
and just so that we're on the same page, I would be recommending metal poles with LED lights. Are we on that same page?
Yeah, and I think the estimate was that.
Yeah, Musco's got standard lighting fixtures
Yeah.
through Sourcewell that I
Again,
think.
I don't quite know, what the dates or any of those, but yeah, previous agendas do have the
Right.
full estimate.
I think they're
ask.
very similar to the ones at the Memorial hockey rinks,
Right,
if I remember correctly.
okay. And then I'll send that out in an email. So that is capital and assets. And so now operating, or any more, sorry, Andrew.
One more thing on the
Yep.
capital. Troy was gonna get like an estimate on epoxy flooring for the JC's concession area. I think, wasn't the discussion if we could do it ourselves versus like a
Right.
vendor doing it?
Yeah, he was having more of a conversation about whether or not our guys would be able to handle the epoxy or not, you know, so if it was, okay, can we do it in-house and how much is it gonna cost, and if we can't, what does it cost? Yeah.
Getting it on here, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the conversation was the bathroom as well, right?
Oh, cause the
Yeah.
Right.
smells.
Yeah.
Right.
The sense.
With the concession stand, the whole,
Yeah, yep.
right.
That's,
Yeah, it was,
That's
yeah,
how it all
it was a two-parter, but.
thank you, John. Yeah.
Okay, stone art, the arch, lights, and are just flooring in general. We'll get a square, because Lyman P. White's, you know, we got all the concession stands and restrooms should get that. Okay,
All right, so capital wise then, Paul, did you have a chance to look at the spreadsheet I sent out?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I mean, I think I understand it for the most part.
Cool. Any concerns with, we really just shifted stuff in the next, I'd say
No.
3. Okay, cool. So, not to totally take over JD, is everyone comfortable with, on the capital park spreadsheet that Mike sent, kind of those consistent items, so the lift, the plow, trees, weed and feed, garbage cans, ADA? Does that all seem good?
I think they've all worked out well in the past, giving us some flexibility to make the most, get the most bang for our buck.
Cool. And then from the 30-year capital plan spreadsheet, if we updated the capital park spreadsheet for the next 5 years with items from the capital plan spreadsheet, does that sound good?
Yes.
We're good with capital.
good, thank you.
Anything you want to see in there?
On maintenance, I didn't really have any questions. Again, it's just seemed like there wasn't anything absurd change-wise. I mean, just costs up.
And operating, yeah.
Yeah, just increase. And again,
What was our repairs and maintenance budget set at last year, and what is it going to?
80.
80 this year?
65,
Our
2024.
actual
Yeah, it
was
was actual. Yeah,
65.
That's 80.
Last year budget was 80, this year is 80.
Okay.
same, yep.
We did a little bit in increase for our fall protection for our playgrounds, just like we did at Gregory Park. They pretty much all needed, we need to take out some and just replace it all,
Yeah, the old
So-
P-Rock ones are just, yeah.
right? And we'll be tackling that.
I wouldn't want to fall
hopefully
on those.
2 parks per year is my, you know, but they're expensive, but it's really adds to the park, it adds to the environment. And the big thing is just the safety, so.
Andrew?
Shocking. The skate sharpening tool, is that, because that's like a tool, would that be a capital item? Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kai.
And
Small tools, Connie, right? The budget line item that she loved every year. That's a small tool item.
We don't have to capitalize it, we don't want to.
right.
Connie, how will this work with not knowing the exact professional development and insurance items?
It'll just be an estimate,
Okay,
subject to change.
got it.
The one thing that Lisa and I, we've been thinking about for next year is going to be our 250th anniversary, not ours, the country's birthday. And we would like to do some flair, something downtown. We did not add that to the budget. There is the mayor's fund. I haven't, thought about touching that budget, but again, that's for the park board to consider. I would like to do some flair or something for the 250th birthday.
Take it out of the mayor's budget.
Yeah, well, downtown would have
Let's
come out of
just
parks.
loot out of Dave's coffers here, but also just find some group that wants to get involved. I mean, you know, we've got the VFW, we've got we've got a ton
Right.
of organizations. Just reach out to somebody and say, Brainerd Parks and you guys
Right.
sound like a great place for this. So, yeah, I like that. So let's just partner with somebody that wants to do something like that. We can make a big deal out of it. I love
Right.
it.
There's actually a company that Lisa watched a whole video and presentation on it. It's pretty amazing. Essentially, the Reader Digest version is they'll have their, a local business, they'll solicit local businesses to put their logo, you know, on that bottom corner of it. And, but it's sort of taken away our control, and it's a program that is going across the country. And some people so they reached out to us. Lisa really liked it. It was very professional, very well organized. But again, we sort of lose that control a little bit. But again, they provide a great service. That's another option that we could bring forth when we get closer.
Andrew?
Kayla, could you talk through the second Easter egg hunt
Oh.
event?
Actually, that was sort of my idea.
Fair. Yep.
And versus having everyone at Gregory Park for the entire city of Brainerd, I thought about having one North Brainerd, one in the south, whether it be Buffalo Hills or JC Park, just spreading out the love, if you will, and having a local Easter egg hunt where you could just walk from your house to your local park, doing an Easter egg hunt and keeping it small, very intimate, very family oriented versus one large event. So it's just a different perspective. It's not that we have to or anything, but it's just bringing in, we know the Lions Club, as you saw the strength of them, that they would probably really value that at Lions Park at Buffalo Hills.
I would probably be opposed to that. I like the idea of the one, and I think it just spreads staff and attendees too thin. And then at first I was like, well, if you split ages at different parks, but then you're splitting families and eliminating that fault. So I would just like to see it bigger if we needed to space it out at Gregory Park more.
Yeah, I think my hesitation was, like, Easter here is such a wild card weather-wise, putting all of our eggs in that basket. This is right there, yeah. I would just hesitate versus a summer event where we're pretty sure we're not going to, right, 2 years ago we had like a foot of snow, and we had
Right.
like 3-year-olds who were up to their neck, and it was funny, but it was hard to search for eggs.
Right.
So just,
No.
that was kind of my hesitation, was versus like a second fishing clinic or a 4th of July or a Memorial Day or, yeah, something like
Right.
that.
Thank you for looking out for staff time.
Where do we feel we're at?
I'm ready to make a motion to approve the capital and operating budgets for 2026 contingent on updates to be made by staff, and Andrew sending his updated spreadsheet over, and operating budgets with insurance changes and all that kind of stuff. But in concept, yes, I think we all have an agreement.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for the budgets contingent on the changes noted. Do we have any further discussion?
Not operating, isn't there?
Seeing none, do we want to do a roll call vote? Voice vote? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on, 8E, consider solar development agreement with Wolf Track Energy.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is an agreement that's already been briefed, I think, to the park board and just not formally approved of. It was prior to my time, so I just want to bring it forth again to make sure that we're all on the same page. BPU has already approved this. Their commission has already approved it. If you can scroll down to the payout, if you will. It is page 12 of 12. So we are not going to see a financial profit till or it won't pencil out till year 39. So that is a hard thing. By that time, most likely these fixtures will need to be replaced. And I spoke to Danny with BPU, and I'm not sure, I'm going to give you options, and my professional recommendation, what is it really serving? I'm not sure. It's just serving a pavilion in a park. And to pencil it out till year 39, I'm not sure if that's the best use of funds, even though it is being paid by BPU. That is just something that I just want to throw my 2 cents in. But again, we will, if it's the aspect of just having solar energy, that's a decision within itself that yes, it does. If we look at it totality with every aspect, I'm not sure if I would recommend this because it is so far out to benefit. And then we have to replace the lights. They're not going to last 39 years. And then now that just pushes that out even further. So I just want to give you the full reasoning of that. I know the Rotary probably have supported this. And as you know, solar power is very much clean energy, and it's an amenity that some people really value. I like to look at both aspects of it, but again, I just want to give the board both sides of that spectrum.
Paul, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, so this project's been talked about a lot. Mike brings up the concerns I think the board had originally, and I don't exactly recall what the final decision was. I think we voted to approve this on the building, if I remember correctly. It was a while ago. But again, I share Mike's same concerns. If we're rehashing this again, the payout doesn't make sense to me. I drove by the pavilion the other day, and there's power, I think, extended basically to the pavilion already, with the ability to extend that and install power sockets. And I think the agreement at the time was that if BP was going to pay for it, that we would be okay with it. My concerns are still out there. This is an asset on a building that someone is going to have to replace in the future. I don't know if this agreement, I didn't read too much in detail about it, but the responsibility for replacement when they go bad, is BP going to cover that bill again? It's on a park building, so it is an asset under our purview that certainly comes with its own issues installing roof-mounted solar. There's the security aspect that I think we all talked about at the meeting, but again, I think we approved this once before. I was a yes vote just because it seemed to be that we put a lot of time and effort into this, and to kind of turn back now, I guess I reserve my right to possibly change my vote because I thought that this was already getting done, but
I'm in the same boat. I thought this was done. I think I thought we raised the concerns that, about vandalism, who's gonna replace it, is BPU paying for all that? I thought we had the answers to that, but,
Yes.
I mean, and if we haven't, do we have the answers to all that?
Well, when I
Vandalism
looked
is another factor that needs to be considered.
When I look in the minutes, if within the first 15 years the park board wants to get rid of them, the park board would be responsible for the removal and payback based on the table minus rebates received from the original cost. If after 15 years, BPU would be responsible for the cost of removal. If the panels became a hazard or a blight, BPU would pay for the removal. I thought we were done with this. I disagree with the fact that it's going to take 39 years to pay back, but I'm not going to tell another entity how to spend their money.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all came to that resolution that we were on board with this one, with all those contingencies, so.
Question, will this have to go to, if whatever happens here, will this go to the city council for final approval, or it's,
No.
it's, okay, all right.
Between the park board and BPU commission.
Yeah,
Okay.
we even did a joint meeting on this, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, we had a joint meeting about this thing, so, yeah, I mean, this has been a marathon, I thought we were done. That's why I was a little confused, because I'm like, I just don't, this looks all super familiar, but it seems, yeah, no, I'm ready to make a motion, so.
Need a motion?
Do we need a motion?
Like, we've already approved the.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Tony indicated that it need to go to city council.
That would be outside of us then, so I would just confirm on that, but just so you guys know, we had talked about security-wise, they do have security cameras in the cost estimate, so they would be putting security cameras in there. So,
It's all kind of there.
Yeah.
I mean, every single thing that we kind of talked about, contingency, all that stuff that we wanted is all there. So again, if you need to bring it upstairs, I think it's all in the minutes, you know.
we are upstairs.
Well, further upstairs, you know. But the penthouse, yeah. Then I think all the minutes speak to that previously, so.
I guess the security does offset why it takes 39 years to reach.
Yeah, it was like
That-
20 or
was.
something.
It would have been like 25.
Yeah.
But that is a cost going into this project, so. But yes,
Everybody's needs were met on this one, I think.
Yep.
So, I think it's still just a thumbs up from us if it needs to go to council that, you know, like, hey, we're still on board with this because everything we wanted out of this project has been taken care of, board-wise.
Yeah, I can forward you this email. Tony is indicating it should go to park board first and then to city council. She's indicating that it was discussed, but still needs park board and commission approved. Danny is indicating park board and commission approved. Yes, they generally approved the concept of the project, but there wasn't an agreement to approve at the time. So we may have discussed it here, but there wasn't an agreement
Yeah, I don't
like
think
there
we've ever
is.
seen the actual agreement.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's
I'll
what,
make a
That's what was
motion
in
to
the packet,
approve the
yeah.
agreement.
right, so that's what Tony's indicating. There wasn't an agreement at the time to approve.
It's just
And
all been
that's
finalized
why,
now.
but because it is a document that needs to be approved on a city asset for, again, I'm not sure of the justification, but she's indicating that it needs to go to city council also. After you approve here or deny, it still needs to go to city council.
Then I will second Paul's motion.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion on it? Andrew?
The agreement's between BPU and the energy company, so I don't think we can approve anything.
Well, we'll just, approve our input on the contract to council.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I don't know what exactly
Yeah, if
we would be approving because it's not an agreement between the park board and anyone else. The park board basically gave its consensus that it's okay to put it on one of our buildings, and that was it.
I mean, we could entertain a motion, an amended motion that we still agree with or approve the project scope.
I will make that friendly amendment.
I will second that friendly amendment.
I have an amended motion to agree the project scope based on the agreement that was presented between BPU and Wolf Track Energy. Do we have any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I,
Motion passes. All right, so our motion on the table now is that we agree with the project scope based on the agreement that was presented between BPU and Wolf Track Energy. Do we have any discussion on that?
wait, what was the last one on?
The last one was just the agreement.
Okay.
So now we're just agreeing that,
Oh, I thought that was an amendment to the original motion.
yes, it was,
Oh, it was adding, okay.
the project scope. Because we can't approve the agreement, it's not ours. So it's just the scope of the project. So now it's just a matter of, do we still agree with the scope of the project?
They can still put it on our roof.
That's where I'm
Is that a
at.
motion?
That's the motion that's on the table.
It's already on the table, okay. Just so we're, as part of the discussion, yes, they can still put it on our roof. That's part of the scope.
I could swear we had a document about the 15 years. That was just the minutes?
Yes,
Yeah, it's in the minutes, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I still support this. I'm just nervous, that, like, generally saying, hey, we think it's good for no particular reason. Because, like, we've already said we think it's good. We already have outlined what we want to have happen. I love this for Rotary. I'm really confused what we would need to approve without, like, a more specific park board BPU contract or something. That's just my hang up here. And if we want to do the motion, I'm fine with that. I think I would just ask staff maybe for some clarity on it.
Yeah.
Please,
You've got
please save us.
If you've got any amount of context, we'll take it.
No, well, I'm surprised this is on the agenda because I thought this was a done deal a long time ago.
Thank you.
And I can't claim to understand how the city works, so I'm ignorant in the process. But I understood what, at the start of this project, to create the project, Rotary themselves went out and solicited all the bids to put the project together. And then as it went through its approval process, I wouldn't say there was project creep, but at the outset, it was certainly desirable to have power brought into the pavilion and outlets, and make it make that pavilion on a more par basis with other park facilities. And so this is all being lumped into a solar project, but there was a significant amount of cost that was going to be that is incurred just to get it up to the point that it's similar to other park facilities. So the total cost certainly isn't solar, it's there, but there is an incremental part to the solar part. And we as the Rotary Club are contributing to $10,000, which basically buys all of the solar panels and all of the racking and so forth. So I understood that when we submitted all of this information that it was accepted and went through the process, but there was a requirement that the city needed to have quotes presented directly to them rather than quotes coming through through the Rotary Club and being approved. So if there's some glitch, that's the only thing from our standpoint at Rotary that we were aware of. But we thought that sounded like kind of a formality where certainly any of the providers would be glad to put someone else's name on the proposal rather than Rotary. So that's, as far as I know, that was the only part that was kind of it was a kind of a surprise, but it sounded like really a formality in making sure all the docs were correct.
Yeah, and I think our confusion is what we thought when we had the discussions about this project, that we had basically approved the use of the Rotary Pavilion, which is under our purview.
Right.
For use for this project, and that we were basically done with it. And that's where I think the confusion is happening, because now we have this agreement between BPU and Wolf Track Energy that we don't really have any stake in the game anymore.
Yes, I know that this was originally, or that agreement that you was on the screen a little bit ago. Wolf Track provided that agreement to Rotary, and we said, no, we have no legal ability to sign this, And so they went back and things were requoted and so forth. I don't know if that helps or hinders, but anyway, I was surprised to see this was on the agenda.
I'm just going to make another motion that we approve the use of the Rotary Park Pavilion for this project. And just, if BPU has approved their contract with the provider, then we should be covered. And whatever needs to be taken to council can be taken to council, but I think.
You want to amend that first motion?
Yes, that's my amendment.
That's your amendment?
Yep.
I like that much better.
Well, I do want to make sure that we do include, because this agreement doesn't have any mention of the 15 years, to Andrew's point. So if we're crafting some sort of agreement with BPU about removal or, replacement, I suppose that needs to be done still and brought before us if that's the conversation that needs to be had, because there's no binding, I don't even know if we need to have an agreement with BPU. I'm
No,
not
I mean, we're all the
entirely
city,
Sure,
so,
like, we're all the same entity. So I mean, as long as, they're held to the same 15-year removal, replacement, whatever. Yeah,
I guess I would just ask city staff to, research that specific topic about these contingencies we did make in our original motion about the 15-year payback and all of that gets considered and brings something back to us that says that we're good where we left it off last time, or we need to come up with an agreement with BPU or
Right.
whatever that is.
Whatever it might be, yeah.
So that between the two departments, like to your point, I don't know if we actually need that because it's all the city. It's kind of,
Yeah.
So just very specifically, an agreement regarding replacement and that,
Exactly.
Or
right?
just to make sure that everybody's still, I mean, because we're about to sign this agreement now to get this project going, right? Let's just make sure that everybody's still aware that the original conversation, because it's just not in here at all, anywhere. Let's just make sure that the 15-year responsibility on replacement or removal is outlined somewhere in this conversation, right? Like, again, the board will, if we want to rip them off before 15 years, that's on us. If we don't, they need to be replaced, that's on BPU. I mean, they are in the minutes, and I suppose we can go back and pull them, but, let's just make sure that, as far as input is concerned, if that needs to go to council, that's the input, right? They can still use the pavilion. Let's just make sure those original contingencies and all those pieces of information that we originally outlined
Right.
are still
relevant.
So,
Right.
So I second Paul's motion. Amended motion, excuse me. Amended motion.
I have an amended motion on the table that we still approve of the project scope. They can put it on the roof of Rotary Pavilion. All those in favor of the amended motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Amended motion passes. So now we need the official vote on that amended motion. Because you amended the original motion. We were just voting to amend that motion.
All right.
We have that motion in the second.
Yep. I
Any
will,
further discussion on that? We've got Paul and Jonathan making that motion.
yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Rotary Park Pavilion solar power is good with the park board.
Put a fork in it.
Put a fork in it.
You guys in your amended motions make me think.
Yeah, well, what do we pay staff for besides that, you
Two
know?
terms as student senate president never had that many amended motions.
Lord have mercy.
Sorry, Max. All right. Discussion of Lions Park at Buffalo Hills ADA parking stalls and the path and service road.
Nope, we gotta go back.
8F?
8F.
Oh, 8F, approval of Rotary Park grant. Great River Greening, 90-10% grant. Great River Greening grant.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We met out there with the Rotary Club, and they have the Great River Greening Project is also working with the Soil and Water with the state, and they have a grant of $255,000, and it's a 10% match. So 90-10, and it's a great project to remove the buckthorn that is out there. There's been some previous attempts to reduce it with goats and some mitigation of that. This here, I think, will be a better approach in the sense that now we are getting, there's a cash, a $12,750 cash match, and then also the same amount for in-kind, which is labor and equipment. And as you know, the Rotarians are very strong in their park, but also with the city staff, we have more equipment now. We have a brush cutter that we can really go in there and really attack that that buckthorn, and we can attack it like that. So the big thing is the Great River Greening is a strong organization. Rotary Park is one of a great asset. My only concern with what they are doing with our wells so near is that spraying any chemicals. We are going to try to, well, we need to mitigate that aspect, but we can handle that with other equipment and means to amend that buckhorn weed there. And with that, we can take any questions.
So the park board is being asked for a $12,750 match in cash to this project?
Correct.
Did we have that budgeted for?
I believe Dave said that would come out of the operating budget,
Correct.
and you had planned on that for this year.
Correct.
Right, well, I'll make a motion to approve the grant and provide the $12,750 cash match.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve $12,750 in cash for the match on the grant. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now we are on 8G, discussion of Lions Park at Buffalo Hills, ADA compliance. I'm excited for no buckthorn.
Yeah, well, it's a process, but we'll keep working on it, so.
No more goats?
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll try to do some growth too, so we'll keep you guys posted as we make some
Okay.
progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The public has been really excited about visiting the goats down there.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter loved it.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as you know, Lions Park at Buffalo Hills is strongly invested with the Lions Club here in Brainerd, and they are put forth, they're seeking grants right now. And as we've received a couple complaints regarding ADA compliancy. And as I emailed out the board, we had paving company in that neighborhood, and we made a decision to go ahead and just put forth parking stalls, 2 parking stalls with a walking way in between there, just in the parking stalls. So it's just asphalt right now at that time, and now we are proposing that we make a path from the parking lot to the restroom, and that can either be a 4 or 5 foot all the way up to an 8 foot wide path up to that pavilion. I met with Nancy, and she is indicating some of her ideas, and that is why this 8 foot path is on the agenda regarding, because I know service roads and of that going into a park are somewhat of a concern for the park. I like the 8 foot roads just because it helps provide emergency services into a park. It also provides easable, walkable community, and it also, especially with ADA, this is going to be an ADA park that is going to be geared for wheelchairs and so forth. Just imagine doing a wheelchair down a 4 foot wide path. One is going to have to stop, get off the path, and then get back on. So that's why we are recommending an 8 foot wide path. Nancy would also like that path, that legacy trail, to be an 8 foot wide path. And so that's why right now we would like to use that $25,000 that's already in the budget for ADA improvements in the parks. And that's where we could take that asphalt. The asphalt was about $2,000 to $3,000. Concrete would obviously be a little bit more, but well within that $25,000 range. And with that, that's the information, that's the direction, or that's the thought process. And again, these are just things that I want to bring forth to the board to consider regarding just, as we move forward with this design at Lions Park.
Questions for staff? Paul?
I'm fine with the budget aspect. I would just like to see like a site plan, number one, if we can have engineering or Sean with GIS draw something up so we have an understanding of what this would look like. We have the master plan document, but I guess that would also come in helpful for when we go out and get quotes. I'm not comfortable approving something that we don't know a cost for it yet, especially with, what the scope, not knowing what the full scope will be. And also, I'm more in favor of a standard sidewalk width of 5 feet, just because that's what we have in all of our parks. ADA standards, recommends 5. You can go down to 4 in constrained areas. I think 5 is more than adequate for this. It's what we have. I mean, I would be willing to consider 6. I mean, I've seen sidewalks that are 6 feet wide, but in this case, I think, getting the most for our money here, the most length and things, and knowing that ADA only requires 5 feet, that's just where I'm at with it, I guess.
Andrew?
Yeah, I think we had a similar discussion, Paul, with the JC's path, and that like doing a extra half strip was like a significant cost add, because it's not the standard like sidewalk paver. It's like that plus doing some by hand, and that doubled. I forget what Jesse told us, but it increased the cost of that sidewalk quite a bit. So yeah, I agree with Paul. I'm not comfortable approving something without an estimate, and I think having an ADA accessible sidewalk is great. Love that location, but yeah, I want to see kind of a plan first. And
also just thinking about the truncated domes and all of that, going from that asphalt surface to the sidewalk surface, you need those detectable warning panels, and engineering should be able to lay that out to say, we want to make sure it meets ADA. If we're saying it's an ADA sidewalk, we got to make sure the domes are in place and that, blind or vision impaired people know they're entering into a parking lot and off of a sidewalk and things. And so I think we need a little more of a site plan, kind of show us what we're dealing with, and that we know it will meet ADA from a slope perspective, and then have quotes prepared so that we can make a informed decision on it.
I would agree that I am not in favor of an 8-foot wide path that breeds vehicles in parks, and I will not support anything that does vehicles in parks like that for a project. But I would be in favor of 5 to 6 feet, probably 5 feet in general, just because most bang for your buck.
I understand conceptually, as the sentiment is that we want this to be the ADA accessible park, right? So I understand the concept, and I do support the idea, but yeah, to the point that we have $25,000 annually that we spend on this, and I don't know if you could build an 8-foot wide sidewalk on 25 Gs. I mean, with all of the needs being met, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a concrete guy, but it's, I think we have to stick with 5 feet. I mean, unless they've miraculously come up with a new contraption that doesn't add a significant cost to increasing it. Like I said, conceptually, I like the park as the ADA accessible park. Sounds great, but I just don't know if 8 feet is feasible financially for us to do a replacement like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like it, but 5 feet's probably where we got to be, because it's just such an incredible cost increase. Again, it could be misspeaking, and I think we're a year removed from that now, but that was a lot of money. The difference between 5 foot and 6 feet already at the JCs. So,
do we want to I would entertain a motion to direct staff to get quotes.
Yeah, I would make a motion to direct staff to get quotes and provide a site plan layout that meets ADA requirements for this project, and bringing that to the next meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
if you want to find 8 feet, see what it costs, I mean, bring it up, I mean, that's
So
totally
5 feet,
fine.
a bid for 5 feet wide.
If you want to do a bid for 8 feet, I think we're all okay seeing that. We just would, then we would have information to make an informed decision.
Yeah, because
So
if they.
5 feet and 8 feet.
Yeah, if the concept is 8 feet, if that's what they want, we got to see the price difference. I mean, if it's unbelievably significant, I mean, again, master plan wise, makes sense, but.
And 5 feet does meet ADA.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it meets requirements, so.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the table to direct staff to get quotes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We are on 8H, approval of changing location for the Great Pumpkin Festival.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, after, we are looking at J.C. Park for like a re-grand opening, almost like that we did with Lum Park. But there's, after looking at the numbers of individuals at the pumpkin event, it may be better suited to have it at that Memorial Park as we did in the past. So that is what we are recommending, and just take any input, questions at that time.
Yeah, Kayla had reached out to me based on parking concerns at the baseball tournaments. We just can't have that many people at J.C.'s Park, is what we learned. So it was suggested to bring it back to Memorial Park, so that's where we're at.
What were the concerns with people parking?
So Gabe had multiple complaints from residents over there, that's his ward. There was too many vehicles that were blocking people's driveways. They were parked, I went to one tournament there, they were parked, 2, 3, 4 blocks away. And it was basically single lane traffic, and it made for a very dangerous environment.
Okay. So it was mostly to do with how people were parking, not that they were using public streets and parking on public streets.
Both.
Public use.
Yeah, they weren't complaining they were parking there, but the concern was also how far away people were having to go as well. And then how they were parking as well, which I think we all know is.
I think it just ended up being logistically kind of bad,
Yeah.
and will probably be logistically pretty bad. So as much as again, it's my neighborhood too, so I'd rather it be in my neighborhood once in a while. But I do see the constraints here, because that parking lot, it's, and then the street, and then the like leading up to the it's just.
That's single lane as it is.
Yeah, no, again, I live off of Norwood, so I know the misery of the single lane traffic in your neighborhood. It's really bad, so if we can, again, as much as I like rotating it, logistically it just fits Memorial a lot better.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve it at Memorial Park.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to move it to Memorial Park. Any further discussion? Andrew?
Very short item. Mike, do you know when Rosewood Street is up for any kind of reconstruction or maintenance?
I can research that.
So we were also gonna research Pine Street as well on that for the north side of J.C.'s Park. When
And-
that would be up for construction as well.
Oh, we could do like angle parking.
Yep.
Right.
That'd
Yeah, put angled parking in there, and that would add,
be super cool.
yeah.
Andrew, what street was that again?
It is Rosewood east of Southeast 15th. And then
Rosewood is not in the 10-year capital plan, from what I recall, looking at it.
such a buzzkill, Paul.
Huh?
Such a buzzkill. You're instantly
Rosewood and Pine, I don't think are both in there, but maybe I missed it, but.
And then it'd be Pine between Southeast 16th and 19th.
Right. I'll research that and add that to my list.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 8I, Lions Park sign. I lost my sign.
Oh, still.
Okay.
I like 1-8.
Like 1A.
I like 1A.
Right.
Oh, yeah, 1A. Move to approve 1A.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second to approve sign 1A. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Sign 1A is approved. Mike, look at that efficiency for you.
Right, exactly, love it.
We're known for our efficiency.
Very well.
Okay, so staff reports. Any verbal updates since the packet?
No, just that we're working on re-grand opening at J.C. Park and looking at an event there.
I appreciate the script that was provided for me for Lum Park.
Yes, thank you for doing that. That was really good. Great feedback
That chat
from the
GPT
public.
or?
No, no. It was provided to me, and I said the hotter it is, the shorter I speak.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, board member reports.
Oh, my, hold on.
Oh,
Ooh,
was there any verbal ones
go through the,
sent the packet?
oh, you know.
Just for the movies in the park, we have a date for that now, and that's August 8th, Jumanji.
Nice.
Again, total buzzkill. I mean, Willy Wonka was clearly the number 2 on the last one. I mean, it
I
should
totally
be-
agree.
Golly.
I would like Willy Wonka at
was
some
my
point,
pick.
just noted.
Just looking at the capital plan, sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, okay, very good.
Okay, board member reports. Paul?
Pine Street resurfacing project. I don't know if this is an old one though. It might be, but Pine Street resurfacing project 2026, 14th to Walnut.
Heck yeah.
That would cover that.
Wood. Hang on 1 minute. Rosewood.
That would be great to add in the angled parking there, Mike.
Rosewood Street.
Just, yeah.
11th. Rosewood Street, 11th to 15th.
It stops it.
Yeah, it stops right.
Oh, it's because
Yeah, it's,
the rest of Rosewood is part of the park.
yeah.
Yeah, so Rosewood Street, 11th to 15th, 2032.
We own a street? Deeply regret investigating.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's all the same parcel. I don't know.
Yeah, 2032.
Yeah.
So I was mistaken.
But Pine Street, that would be right. Well, you were mistaken, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you can admit that.
I am not in favor of angled parking on streets. I'll put that out there, but that is not our decision to make.
Anything else?
No.
Mr. Miller?
I'm good.
For my board member reports, I would like to see staff have the agenda and the minutes to follow city council guidelines that were newly implemented this year. Other than that, thank you for the script at One Park. Keep up the good work. Andrew?
Very small thing. What's up with the tree stumps in Gregory? Do we not have, there are a couple trees blew down. And the stumps have been there for about a month. I don't know if we don't have the equipment or.
We rely heavily, extremely heavily on the public and the board members and council and staff to give us input. So thank you. And we just don't have time, resources to go out and do that. So just to be transparent, streets, I have been assigning tree foliage with streets and just keeping staff on mowers and beautification with that, heavy lifts or with streets. And that was just an oversight on our part because that's just the next step is to get that stump out.
Well, usually they'll just grind those off. They'll probably
Yes.
hire a grinding company.
We have a grinder. We got a stump grinder, yep.
Right, they did. But
Oh, yeah. That's what I was, okay. Second thing then, Mike, the Triangle Park sign, the bottom fell off.
Oh, it did?
And there's
Okay.
an exposed nail or
Oh.
screw maybe, and some like splintered wood. I don't think it's that dangerous because you gotta like run under the sign, but I guess now they say that some kid's gonna try this out.
Right.
way to go.
Yeah.
Accept it.
It's out on
Here we
the
go.
internet.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we will move on to 11, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned, 5:54 PM.